is a video for my trip around the world patchwork placemat half square triangles. So I just used half square triangles instead of squares for the trip around the world design. As you can see, I used graph paper to draw it out, and then I just cut my squares. I cut 4-inch squares for this placemat, and then I just cut those 4-inch squares into half square triangles to get, the pieces to make the placemat. Then as far as the quilting, I did what I call perimeter quilting. So what I do is I start here, like I with my needle down, and then I just have this the ditch and just inside the edge of the walking foot to come down as you see. So what I do is start at the corner with the needle down, sew all the way down, stop right here with the needle down at this corner, pivot, okay, the placemat, come here, go down to this corner, pivot, and then come here to make that. So as far as the quilting, I found it easier to do the L. Okay, then go up to do the 45-degree triangle line right here. And then this is it. Okay, so once you take your time, I start like in the middle, See the quilting? It's what I call perimeter quilting. And this line that you see is not a 1/4 inch. It's just wherever that needle comes down it inside that little edge of that walking foot on the side of where the ditch would be. So you just put it in there in order to come up with this line or create the line. So the line as you see that I'm showing you. And I start in the middle and I work my way out. So I do the middle row, then the row up above and then below it. Then you go back above it and below it until you get each row done. And don't worry about it being perfect, like just consistent with the way it looks. And then it looks perfect. So yeah, you're not necessarily trying to be perfect. You're just trying to be consistent to have that look. See, that's a perfect looking one. And some may not be so perfect, but I mean, it's consistent. So, it comes out looking pretty good. And as you can see, the hearts for this block are going sideways, which was an error on my part. That's why I have realized that when you're working with the printed fabrics to make the half square triangle, you have to take into consideration how that triangle is going to be placed on your quilt to determine how you will cut that square. So sometimes you're going to cut your half square triangles this way. Sometimes you're going to cut your half square triangles this way. So it all depends. Now this is only for the printed solids. It really doesn't matter. But for the printed, it definitely makes a difference because you're going to end up with these. If you do it incorrectly, you're going to end up with these sideways hearts. I could so evidently. Okay. I could. I guess I was cutting each triangle, each square this way. Okay. So for this one, in order for it to be correct. Okay, so I should have, I don't know, because how would I have, okay, so if I cut it this way, the hearts would have been this way. I cut it this way. Maybe it's no way around it being sideways. That may be what it is. But I'm trying to see if it was standing up, the heart's going this way, I cut it this way. Okay, so then you take those upside down hearts, or maybe if I cut it this way. Okay, so these hearts would have been going this way, and then that way, and then this way, the hearts this way. I don't know, you have to try to see, because you have to take into consideration, because I would have wanted my hearts to be going up and down. So then you have to look at your square to see how you would cut it in order for your hearts to be a half square triangle piece and still be going up. So you have to look at the way you cut it. I was trying to figure it out, but I can't figure it out right now. So yeah, but this is it. So that's really the only error I made. And then just being, trying something. I did do the 1/4 inch right there. That's about a 1/4 inch, but I was just trying something, but you don't notice that it won't be noticeable to the naked eye, because they're going to look at the whole thing. So that one, really make a difference. But overall, I mean, it looks pretty good. It's getting lots and lots of views. So I said, let me go on and make a long form video since it's getting so many views. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. This is just something I drew out on graph paper. Like I said 1,000 times, I really don't buy these people's patterns. I just use graph paper and make up my own pattern. I'm actually right now in the process of drawing out something else. That's a long, kind of long, this line here, but a little more intricate. So I should have it ready for Juneteenth, and the 4th. It's pretty much those same, color schemes or whatever. Just the same design, different color scheme. Because I'm not finna try to pressure myself to come up with 2 different designs since I do my own designing. Okay, pat myself on the back. So as a person that views my videos, as a subscriber, especially my subscribers, thanks to all my subscribers. I'm still trying to get my subscribers up. My goal, my vision for the person that watches my video, whether it's a subscriber or just people just watching my videos, I would like for you all, if you are stitching a ditch quilter, I would like for you to be able to do more than stitching in a ditch. I would like for you to at least be able to do straight line quilting, which is really what you see here. It's just, and it's like on the side of the ditch, but it's what I call perimeter quilting. It's not really a 1/4 inch away from that edge. It's just where that needle comes down in order for that line to be this far off into this block or this half square triangle. And then that's your line to follow, and you just stop at every corner. You start with your needle down, like in the corner, sew down, stop here with the needle down in this corner, pivot, sew down, stop here with the needle down, and go up. And it's not hard to do, just something you have to just pretty much concentrate, and then you will get it. It's very easy, and just I didn't even sew this all in one day. I don't do that. I sew 1/2 square at a time, start with the middle out, and I sew, and then when I feel like it's time to rest, I stop and I come back the next day. So, and then I don't try to, I'm not one of those quilters that try to do do everything in one day. Like, it's not my goal to make a quilt in an hour. It's not my goal to make a quilt in a weekend. Okay, because it's one thing about me. My quilt is a quilt. So I'm going to cut the pieces. I'm going to sew the pieces. I'm going to make the quilt top. Then I'm going to put the cotton in the middle. And then I would do the back. So once you do the back and you take your time and do each individual half square triangle, quilting at a time, then you come out with what you see here, which is, this is about one of the best looking backs that I've done. That does look, as far as the way it came out. You know, I went back and they had sold. I believe lots of people are really watching my videos, because when I went back, I wanted some more of this. It was gone. I was like, that is sold out of my fabric. I wanted, you know how you don't get enough, because I only got a yard. Then I went back. It was all where I got it from. It was all gone. I was like, these people, did somebody watch my video and go buy up all this fabric? Now I can't get none myself, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll get some next time. Okay, I'm just glad, you know what I'm saying. It means I got good taste, you know, if it's all so. That means lots of people like that. That's no story for another day. But back to what I was saying. This is end up being how the back looks. And normally, like, some people just use any fabric to put on the back. But me, it's going to be something I like, you know, because I put as much love that I put on the front, I put that same love on the back, because I want it to be something I'm proud of too. So I'm not going to put a flat sheet back here. It's not going to be muslin. You know, if it's just, it could be like a solid broadcloth if I just, you know, not for me, but I could see somebody using solid. But me, myself, it's going to be something that I'm proud of. It's going to be something that I love. Because sometimes I eat on the front and sometimes I eat on the back. So it's, both sides have to be pretty, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not just going to use no anything. Even for my quilts. The back is going to be something nice. The front is going to be something nice. And the back is going to be another fabric that's also quilter's quality. Something pretty. Something nice looking. It's not going to be anything. So that's just my perspective on this. So this is how the back looks, and it's not, you know, it looks pretty good. I mean, you may see some imperfections because the background is white, but it is what it is. Overall, it looks pretty good to me. So this is the back fabric, and this is the front again. So, and I use continuous binding. So that's what I was saying. The goal for me, as far as for people, my vision for me, for the people that are subscribed to my channel, and the viewers, would be to be able for that person to do more than stitching and ditch. That person to be able to design their own quilts, not buying patterns, unless that's just something they want to do. Which is, that's understandable. I don't do that because that copyright thing just irks me to no end. So, you know, so this is, yeah. And then to be able to do the continuous binding. So that's this is my join. Where's the join? That's it right there. Okay. And then, so, yeah. And that's, once you watch a lot of videos on continuous binding, you should be able to do it. Just watch them as long time like I did, until I said, man, I'm going to do it. It seems hard. It's really not hard. It is, you know, you do have to concentrate. And what I've started doing is, I don't do the one no more anymore where it says to pivot off at that 1/4 inch from the end, pivot off like in a 90-degree angle. It's much easier to just do the back stitch a 1/4 inch from the end, and then, you know, yeah, do the rest of the steps from there. Don't, if you hesitant because someone says, okay, pivot off the end at a 1/4 inch, pivot off at a 45-degree angle, that's not necessary. Because either way, if you back stitch or if you quarter off at a 45-degree angle from a 1/4 inch from the end, it's still gonna be the same result. It's still gonna be that miter corner. So you still have to pull it up and fold it over and all that. Yeah. So yeah. So this is my little trip around the world patchwork placemat half square triangle. So it's half square triangles. Yeah. So I have lots of things coming up. Make sure you all. Oh yeah, I gotta show you all my graphs. So this is the graph design for my placemat. Okay. So this is just the little graph paper. And you can see how I drew it out. So for my placemat, I cut 4-inch squares for final size of 3-inch squares. So it's 7 going across, 7 squares going across, 7 squares going down, with a final size of 3 inches. Okay, so this is the graph. Okay, so this is how I drew out that placemat. Okay, so I draw my little graph, and you can see how it forms the half square triangles or whatever. Then it says cut 4-inch squares, so I do that. Then I come down here and I give each print a number. So 1 is black hearts, 2 red hearts, 3 the black XO, red letters, 4, 5 pink check, red XO, 7 white check, 8 black hearts. And then here is where I number and I said, well, that tells me how many half square triangles. This tells me how many squares to cut. So yeah, like I said, I draw out my own quilts on graph paper. I'm not lying. This is what I do. So yeah, and I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been quilting for 20 years. But I wasn't coming on YouTube to do videos until I knew what was necessary. Felt that I was ready. You know, people like, oh, Teresa, you've been quilting 20 years. Go on YouTube. I wasn't coming on YouTube if I couldn't do that continuous binding. That was one of the main things. And do some quilting more than stitching the ditch. So now all I have to do is perfect my free motion quilting, and I really be able to say I can do something. But right now I do what I can do. The perimeter quilting, I like to do that. I fell in love with concentric quilting, which all you do is just, especially the concentric square. So yeah, but this is the graph. I wasn't lying. This is it. This is my evidence that I draw out my own quilts, design out my own quilts. So that's how it goes. So if you're interested in knowing how to do it, just start on graph paper, do your little numbers, and come out and do your little key for your little codes. What print is which? What is number 1? What you gonna have for number 2? What you gonna have for number 3? What you gonna have for number 4? 4, however numbers you have, and then 1. How many pieces is number 1? So if it's squares, of course, there's 5 squares, but there's 5 half square triangles. So if it's two triangles to a 2 half square triangles to a triangle, then if I have 5 half square triangles, that means I need 3 squares. So then I'll end up with 6 pieces. But of only those 6 pieces, I will only need 5. And then that shows how it goes. So this is my design, you know. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so then we back over here. So this is the last shot of the actual placemat. And then this little red print I use for the binding, that's like my favorite print in the quilt. So that's considered, that's something you can take into consideration. They're like, what do I use for the binding? It can be anything, any print that you use in the quilt can be the binding. Some people may prefer a light color binding. Some people may prefer a dark color binding. It's all in your preference. I use both. But most likely it's going to be some, like my favorite print would be the binding, what I use for the binding, to bind the quilt. Yeah. But yeah, this is it. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Facebook, Quilter Teresa Green. My YouTube handle is at Quilter Teresa Green. Instagram, Teresa_Green_90. So yeah. And then sometimes I really want to follow me on my Facebook page, because sometimes I post stuff on Facebook before I could post it on YouTube. Because Facebook, I put one day, I say, oh, it just got so many views, put another one. So I just put out I got, where it's YouTube, I stagger it out. So yeah, but this is my little, placemat. I just decided to go on and do a long form video, since I was getting so many views on my shorts and all that. So yeah, for everybody loves it, here it is one last time. So you can see the little trip around the world design. And like I said, I have something else coming up. Kind of the same, but more intricate. And that's all I'm willing to say right now. I'm not trying to let everything out the bag today. But thanks for watching my video. Subscribe. Watch my other videos. Check it out.